Hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another one of my TV episodes reviews, guys. I didn't mention this in my last Walking Dead review, because obviously this is a review. If you haven't read the title already, this is a review for The Walking Dead. Newest episode, just watched it, and here I am to bring you my thoughts on it. Guys, I didn't mention this when I reviewed the Season 6 premiere last week, and we are now on Episode 2. But since I'm in school, I'm not sure if I can get reviews up for this season every single Sunday at the exact time, like literally right after, like I always do. I'm going to try my best to get these reviews up right after the episodes airs, but there may be a Sunday where I'm busy or I'm on a shoot or something, and I literally can't get home in time to watch the episode, and I'll just have to watch it another day and then review it another day. So that happened the beginning of this year when the rest of season 5 aired. I could not review every episode on the day it aired. So just be wary of that. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Anyway, guys, what's up? I'm here to bring you my thoughts on the newest episode of The Walking Dead. This is Season 6, Episode 2. We are 2 episodes in now. The episode is titled JSS. Pretty short and sweet episode title. And in case you guys didn't know, spoilers. Spoiler heavy. I'm going to go in depth with this episode, spoil everything. And right off the bat, before I get into anything major, I do want to discuss the fact that I brought this up in last week's episode, but yeah, I wasn't really too happy with the premiere. I didn't care for it. I know some people did, and that's fine. But I personally just wasn't a huge fan. I feel they had a lot of wasted potential with last week's episode, and honestly, looking back now, especially after this episode has aired, I feel that they could have done something really interesting with the main antagonists of tonight's episode. And because they didn't, rather, I feel they kind of shot themselves in the foot. And I'll get into that. But of course, guys, tonight's episode, we're really taking a break from the main group. Within Alexandria, our core characters of Rick and Daryl and Michonne and Abraham and all that. Because where we ended last week, they were in the middle of trying to get those walkers to go down that certain highways, trying to hoard them away from Alexandria. And of course, the car horn went off. We don't know who or what started that. And the walkers all started shifting towards Alexandria. So tonight's episode picks up right when the group is out, trying to pull off this mission for Alexandria. And the way that the promos and everything was edited for last week, it looked like this episode was going to show those walkers invading Alexandria. Before we get into the actual attack, though, I will say this much. The first, 10 minutes of this episode is really just set up, showing the different characters in Alexandria. I mean, it's just going from character to character. We have, for example, they introduce us to a new doctor replacement, Pete's replacement, the guy who who Rick killed in the finale, the season 5 finale. So there's this new doctor. Her name is Denise or whatever. She was a young student or something. We get introduced to her. We show how Deanna is sort of reeling or reacting to everything. She sort of feels out of place after her husband died. Maggie's sort of trying to get her to step back up as Alexandria's leader. We've got problems. We've got emotional tension between Jessie and her son, her oldest son, Rob, I believe is his name. He's sort of pissed at her because she's close with Rick and looks at Rick as an ally or a friend, and he wants nothing to do with Rick because Rick just killed his father, Pete. So you got that drama going on. Father Gabriel is trying to get back in, sort of mitigate back into Rick's group and show that he wants to be there for them, etc. So he confronts Carl, and Carl's like, I'll show you how to fire a gun. Meet me at 3 o'clock in my house. And then we have just basically Carol hanging out with the Real Housewives of Alexandria, as I like to call them. I'm serious. Did you guys see the Mad Max Honest trailer? Mad Max Fury Road, the Real Housewives of the Citadel. Talk about the Real Housewives of Alexandria. Boom. There we go. Genius idea, in my opinion. I'm calling them that. Carol's hanging out with them, and at this point, early when, I kid you not, or in this episode, Carol was chilling with these wives. I was in my head as I was watching. I was I miss badass Carol. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, and then yeah, we get to see basically the entire town. That girl, the episode opens on Enid, that girl that Carl's sort of into, but then she apparently is also into Jesse's oldest son, Rob. I think I just said Rob is his name. She had a rough life going in before she got into Alexandria. Her parents were killed or were being eaten by zombies. She was on her own. She eats a tortoise in the beginning of the episode. So you got all that going on in the first like 10 minutes or so. And then we're just on Carol, and she's baking something, or she starts baking something. And she looks out a window, and some Alexandrian woman is smoking a cigarette, and Carol's like, oh god, that woman, I thought she wasn't going to smoke or whatever. I don't remember. And just some guy just runs to that woman and like stabs her and guts her with this knife, and she just falls to the ground. Alarms Carol, and then we cut to commercial. So Alexandria has intruders, and it's not the zombies that Rick and that group were trying to get away from Alexandria, like I thought it was going to be, like they showed it to us. It's actually the wolves. The wolves have invaded Alexandria. They've taken their opportunity, and yeah, it was very unexpected because we saw the wolves in the season 5 finale. Morgan came across them, and then Daryl and Aaron came across those like trucks with the walkers, and Morgan saved them there, and then they got Darren's bag, Darren's bag, Aaron's bag at the end of the season 5 finale. So they knew, or leading us to believe, they know where Alexandria is. They're coming back, and they're coming back, and they're attacking this episode. So this is like the wolves attacking Alexandria episode, and the current residents. Most of them are not fighters and have not been exposed to this type of violence. They're not essentially ready to take on this outside opposing force of the wolves, who are armed with tons of knives. They luckily have no guns, which is a good thing, but they do have a ton of knives and blades, and they are just running around. They're slashing necks. They are just stabbing people. They're gutting people. One guy is wearing this like plaid checkered shirt, or this plaid flannel shirt, and he just gets stabbed. You see the blade coming right through his back, and I'm like, this is freaking awesome. The wolves are wrecking shit up, and things are going to get real. People are going to spring into action. I want to see this town defend themselves without the real fighters of the group, like Rick and Daryl and Michonne and Abraham and Sasha and everybody else who went on the mission to clear the walkers. Okay, so now it's basically, we got our fighters. We have Carol, we have Maggie, we have Deanna, who's really no help. Carl gets a machine gun and starts protecting Judith. We have Jessie, who's got to learn she's got to defend herself, and her younger son, I think his name is Ron. She named both of her kids Ron and Rob. I think those are their names. So essentially, that's the entire episode. And I think that's what really made this episode work. Because in my opinion, the premiere was just a bunch of setup. And I hated how they kept cutting back from past and present. Like, I think that they could have done that at any point in this season. I don't think they necessarily needed that for the premiere. Now, one of my only problems that I had with tonight's episode, because this is not only significantly better than the Season 6 premiere, this is one of the most interesting episodes we've had in a couple episodes of The Walking Dead. Like, the finale was great, the episode before the finale was great, this episode was consistently thrilling and action-packed, and it's exactly the type of episode you'd expect from The Walking Dead, a show about zombies and, like, murdering frickin' zombies. Or, well, in this case, it's really about the people threat. And I really kind of wanted that with tonight's episode, and we got that. And I'm glad, because we haven't had a people threat in a while, probably since Terminus, I'd say. Maybe even the Grady Memorial Hospital in Season 5. Alexandria was kind of a threat, not really. Like, they went into Alexandria, they got used to it, and then Pete was a threat, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But now we have, like, an actual legitimate human antagonist that are now attacking Alexandria. And these group members who aren't used to fighting now have to step up and protect their loved ones and protect their group, who is left of Alexandria. So Jessie's like, she's got a gun, she's armed, she's going to protect her son. Carol's going to step out there and wreck people. Carl's protecting Judith. Maggie's protecting Deanna, and everyone's got to spring into action at this point. And I was really like into this. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want from The Walking Dead. This is what we need. and they didn't let me down. The only aspect that did let me down with tonight's episode, and if, this is really like a more so or less, if I had to complain about something, this is what I'd complain about. And my opinion is, while I felt the action is great, the attack is great, the deaths are awesome, they're sick, our characters that we love, our supporting characters that we love are springing into action. I love seeing that. My only problem with all of this is we haven't really spent a lot of time with the wolves yet, and I think to honestly make them more solid antagonists, to really get their point of view in all this, and really just not connect with them more, but just feel for them more as villains in the show, I think we honestly needed to spend half an episode on them, maybe just on their group. Show a core wolf leader and just show them like rallying to go after Alexandria or something. Looking back, that's honestly what they should have done with the season 6 premiere. Instead of doing the back and forth, dragging everything out bull crap, they should have had half of that episode, because it was an hour-long episode without commercials. They should have had half of that episode dedicated to Rick and the group and their plan to bring down or to lead the walkers out, and then another, like, we could have had a couple scenes cutting to the wolves and their plans to attack Alexandria. And I know that tonight's episode was a shock, like seeing the wolves coming, because we thought that the walkers were going to attack Alexandria because of the promos. They misled us. But if they had done it my way, it wouldn't have been a surprise because we knew the wolves were going to attack. However, I honestly can't say that I felt threatened by these wolf characters, because they're really just stabbing Alexandria members in the background. No core members of the group are killed tonight, so I really didn't not connect with them as villains, but I didn't see them as that threatening. Yeah, they're going around stabbing people, but I honestly just wanted screen time. I wanted to see their goals. Yeah, they just want to attack Alexandria, but why specifically? Do they just want to murder these people? I feel we need to spend more time with them. And now after tonight's episode, most of them are dead, so that's really the end of the threat. The only time the wolves, we see some of the wolf members getting away, is when Morgan comes back, and I'll get into Morgan because Morgan's fucking great. Okay, pardon the French. He lets a group of them go. One of them takes a gun, and he realizes, oh crap, I just did wrong. I should not have let them do that. Anyway, so that's just a minor. If I had to complain about anything, that's what I'd complain about. But let's get into like the badassery of tonight's episode. Holy crap, guys! Carol freaking rocks, man. She kills it. All right. This is exactly what I wanted. As soon as I saw Carol watching that, I was like, she's gonna wreck shit. Okay, and she kills that one Alexandrian who got stabbed in the head, and then she just breaks into it. She dresses up as one of the wolves. She's got like a poncho, like sweatshirt on. She's got like one of those like face mask things, and she paints the wolf symbol on her head, the W on her head, and she's just killing wolves. She's like firing rounds off at them. She's going around stabbing them, and she's protecting the Alexandrian citizens. She kills a wolf that Morgan apprehends, because I'll get into Morgan coming back. She's just a badass with a capital B. She wrecked it in tonight's episode. One of her best moments in this entire show by far. Okay, Carol's had a lot of great moments on this show. I think one of her toughest episodes was when she had to kill Lizzie. And one of her best moments up till now was definitely her freeing the Alexandria group. But in my opinion, this might be one of Carol's best moments of all time. She full on goes cameo and just goes undercover to just freaking take out all of these wolves. And her kills are bad. She literally shoots a wolf, and the blood spatter just hits the freaking camera. Totally made me jump. I really just loved everything that went on with her character tonight. She's one of my favorite characters on this show, and she is absolutely killing it in this show. Okay, I love where this character's gone. I've said it a billion times, but I love it. Just seeing Carol spring into action like this is exactly what I want from a Walking Dead episode. I'm sorry, but it's true. What else worked for me? Morgan coming back. I did not think anyone from Rick's group was going to come back. I thought we were honestly just going to focus on Carol and Maggie and all them, and Gabriel and all them tonight. But one of the wolves' trucks slams into some of the walls of Alexandria, and I guess the driver or whatever, or a zombie that was in the truck, like leans on the horn, and that's the horn sound that we heard in the end of last week's episode, the premiere. What was I going to say? So, what's her face? Deanna's son goes in the truck to try to like stop that or to stop the horn sound, and Morgan shows up, saves his ass, kills that one walker in the truck, shuts the horn off, and he runs into Alexandria to wreck shit up, okay? And that's just great seeing Morgan. Like, I am so glad Morgan got back into action in tonight's episode. We saw him mess people up in the Season 5 finale, the way he handled the wolves, just beating them down, not killing them. Morgan has definitely taken the more righteous path as opposed to just flat out murdering people. He will kill walkers. He does not want to kill people. And he's very conflicted with Carol on that in tonight's episode. And that added to a very interesting dynamic. And I feel Morgan's character specifically had a very interesting arc that he followed this entire episode. He comes in Alexandria. He's ready to fight. He gets in there and he's like, I don't want to kill these people. Let's just beat them down. Carol's like, step up, man. You got to take these people out. They're threats. And she's just going around, like, he literally has one guy prisoner. He saves Gabriel at one point, just fires, kills the guy, headshot, boom, Morgan just gets thrown out of everything. And then Morgan at one point's got to take on 6 wolves, fends them off, just beats them with that awesome freaking bow staff of his. And I love that so much. And then they run off, and one of them goes off with a gun. Morgan chases them. They run out of Alexandria. He closes the gate and realizes he's did wrong. That was the pivotal point, I think, in tonight's episode, because then Morgan later on goes to see if the coast is clear, if everybody really left, and he almost gets killed by that wolf he ran into in the Season 5 finale, and I think he ends up murdering him with the staff in the end. I think he does kill him. So I really like that arc that Morgan followed on. I don't know if this is specifically going to change his character. I still think he's going for the righteous man. I still think his character is trying to avoid killing life. I think he's still trying to keep it sacred and everything, but I'm really intrigued nonetheless to see where they're going to go with that. And I just love seeing him back in action and just kicking all sorts of ass along with Carol at his side. That was great in my opinion. That worked incredibly well. Carl saves Rob's life. He shoots a zombie, and Rob is just like wants nothing to do with Carl because of Rick killing what's his name? Rick killing Pete. Jessie springs into action in one pretty gruesome scene. One wolf lady almost attacks her, knocks the gun out of her hand. She gets up and takes a pair of scissors and just stabs the life out of her, just stabbing her chest repeatedly. And I was glad they finally gave Jessie something to do to protect her son, or her sons in this case, in the episode. And I think that worked incredibly well. I'm trying to think who else had some great moments. Mostly Carol, just completely killing people and wrecking shit, essentially. And they eventually subdue the threat. Those wolves retreat that faced Morgan. Carol has a sad moment to herself. I mean, it was just like I guess a big shock, honestly, to the entire group that was residing in Alexandria for the day. And I think that really was this was definitely a turning point, I think, for Alexandria in a sense, because now if whoever's eyes were not open to the outside threat, I think they definitely have been now. And I think now anyone who was opposing Rick, anyone who was siding with that Carter character, will now realize that Rick is right. People are going to get into these walls like they just did with the wolves, and things are not going to look well. I don't know. That idiot son of Deanna's who was on the watchtower, terrible sniper, man. Jesus. But yeah, so overall, guys, that was, I think, the point of tonight's episode, to shake these Alexandria residents up. And Rick and the group are going to return, and they're going to be like, what the hell just happened? We can't leave you guys alone for like a day? Really? So for all those reasons, I think tonight's episode really worked. I think it was a significant improvement over last week's. Again, the only real problem I had with the episode was just not like I needed full characterization of the wolves. I really just feel I would have felt them more threatening if we had given them more screen time in the previous episode, in all honesty. Or even, like, I don't know, maybe shown them in the beginning of tonight's episode, and then, like, make it look like they're not going to attack for a while. Just, like, have them, like, huddled in, like, a battle plan, something. Okay, like, maybe they're not even close to Alexandria. And then just out of nowhere, midway in tonight's episode, have them strike and then start the whole battle. I don't know. I just really wanted more from them. And I feel if we don't see much more of them for the rest of the season, it's kind of a waste of opportunity, because I thought they were intriguing. How they went around collecting zombies, the W's on their heads. They're part of this, like, cultish group. And I don't know. I really just hope we get more of them. And if we do get any more of them, I hope it's a lot more, and they get more screen time, because they really just felt like just people just murdering our protagonists, our good group. And I just wanted to not feel for them more, but I didn't feel threatened by them because I don't know them, really. And I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that's you guys. That's just me. I'm not going to hold that so much against tonight's episode, though. I thought it was a solid episode on its own right. Action-packed, exciting, gripping throughout. Good performances. We got to see the more badass side of Carol and Morgan, and I love that. Two of my favorite underrated characters on this show. Not underrated. Two of my favorite supporting characters on this show. And I think all that worked incredibly well. I'm going to go pretty high with my rating for tonight's episode of The Walking Dead. I'm going to give it a solid grade of a 9.25 out of 10, which is a grade of an A-. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was exciting. I liked where it went. I liked seeing the emphasis on these people who aren't used to killing other members or defending themselves. So I think that worked incredibly well, and I thought it was going to be a really boring episode, not focusing on Rick or Michonne, and I think they successfully managed to not make it boring and make it very exciting and very gripping, very tension-riddled as well. I definitely started feeling for a few of the Alexandria group. Like, I was like, ooh, is this person going to die? Oh, is Carol going to get, like, shot here? Like, I didn't think they would kill off Carol, or even Morgan for that matter. But I thought for sure, like, one of them would get stabbed, like, grazed or something like that. And that's what really kept my engagement in the show. So, guys, what did you think of tonight's episode of The Walking Dead, JSS? Leave me your thoughts down below. Leave your predictions for next week. Next week, we're going to focus back to Rick and Glenn and Daryl and Michonne and all them, as they are trying to, I think, still lead these walkers away from Alexandria. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. And yeah, guys, let me know in your thoughts, comments down below. Stay tuned, guys. Check out my Bridge of Spies review, which is currently up on my channel. My Goosebumps review is going to be coming soon, as well as a new random vlog. So stay tuned for all of that shortly. As always, thanks for watching, guys. See you in my next video. Bye.